Hi, I'm Jody, and welcome to One Yard Wednesday. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to One Yard Wednesday. I am so happy to be back today, and thank you to Kara for covering for me last week. I got to do something super fun. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but remember that all sale fabric goes on after the show. So sit back and relax, enjoy the show. We have some fun fabrics, some fun projects to show you. This is all about getting a really great deal on some amazing fabric. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's talk about some quilts today.
Let's do it.
Behind me, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize. Behind me is Octavia. That one is in our Strabology, Mixology two books. So we'll be talking more about how to use this quilt in our fabric that I'm showing today. And then behind Mr. Shayde, we've got Inga. How are you doing today, Shayde?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm here and anticipating the very hot, humid weather that's coming our way. I know it's really cliche to talk about the weather, but we have such interesting weather here.
We do.
There's never a dull moment.
But I like it hot.
I'm not going to complain because I don't like winter, so bring it on. Bring it on, summer. Bring it on. But I have a question for you guys today. So today I am asking for some help from you guys. I want to bring different things to the show, and so I need your help in deciding what to do. So what are you looking for when you're watching One Yard Wednesday? Do you want to know more about projects? Do you want to see any specific brands of fabric or manufacturers? Do you want more basics? Like, give me some ideas. Would you like more tutorials or projects? I kind of want to have some variety and differences. Good morning, Carolyn. And so I need your help. So as the show goes on, can you please comment and let me know what you guys are looking for? And then I will take all those suggestions and kind of use that to kind of map out what our shows are going to be like. And then at the end of the show, we'll have Mr. Shayde bring up some of those comments and we'll talk about them.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so let's get right to it. I've got a 12-piece. It's not a bundle. It's just 1 yards, and we're going to go through that. It's called Meadow at Dusk. Excuse me, Meadow at Dusk by P&B Textiles. So let's get to the overhead and get showing some fabric. So my first fabric I have here is a very beautiful, it's a little bit difficult to see, but it's kind of got a little bit of these, it looks a little more blue, but it's got a cream background with some purples and blue circles in it, and maybe I can bring it closer to the camera here. Oh yeah, now you can kind of see it in there. So this would make a really great background, and I'll show you some examples of that after we're done. And then we have this beautiful blue, light baby blue with these little leaves here that are purple, dark blue, light blue. It's really, really, really
I like
pretty.
that one.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah. Very nice.
This whole collection is fun. And someone pointed out to me before I came on that my outfit matches the fabric today. So we'll see what people say about that.
You know?
It wasn't done on purpose.
I'm sure it wasn't. But you should probably start thinking about that.
I know. But yeah, no, I can't do that.
You can't do that?
No. I don't have that kind of wardrobe. But now I have this really cool blue. It's got a stripe kind of feel, but it is definitely not a stripe. Don't be afraid to cut this up. It's got like half circles in there. It's got the light blue in the background with kind of the dark blue in the circles. And then we have this dark blue, which is just amazing, would be great for binding, or if you want your accent to pop out on that. Also, the next one is a floral with the dark background. And then we have purples in here. We've got some whites. I love the dark, like this really dark purple that's in here. It's really beautiful. And of course, if you guys have been watching me, you know I love purple. And then we have some florals with the actual white background. And again, it showcases like this blue. It's got the light purples. There's some burgundy in here also, or a deep pink color. And then here is another floral, but this is much more, the florals are bigger, bolder. You're going to get more color in this one. I love this print. These are, yes, Sharon, this is amazing. I love this fabric line. When it came in, I knew I had to show it right away. And then we've got these really navy kind of splotches in here, which really kind of give it that like watercolor artsy feel to it. And then we have the white background with these little leaves, just like we had in this blue here. And again, it's showcasing those blues and the light purples. This would make a great background if you wanted to use that. And then we have starting to bring out that pink, or I guess burgundy. I hate saying burgundy because it doesn't really describe how beautiful this color is.
How do you like maroon?
Maroon, maybe. It's like got purple tones to it also, so it's just really, really beautiful, and it really goes well.
Plum?
All the rest of them. Plum, that's it. I love that. Plum. A deep plum. And then we have this print, which we showed in the blue. We now have it in the plum with the light purple in the background and these half circles. We have another color in the plum. And on this one, you can kind of see a little bit. It doesn't have any of that metallic, that you see with some of those, but it's got kind of a lighter color around the circles in there. And then last, but obviously never least, is another small floral in here. So these florals are all different. None of them are the same. The size, the shape, this comes more of like in a circle pattern. It's got smaller prints. The florals are more like set in a actual center. This is more tossed. So this is Meadow at Dusk by P&B Textiles. So like I always do, I'd like to bring some basics in with this line because one, I want you to see what you can use, and two, I want to talk about it in our projects. So these are not on sale. I just like to bring in some different options for you guys to see what you can use. So I'm going to start with the blues. And I picked this one because it really draws out this is not a kit. I know. I probably should have, but I was in a hurry and we needed to get this done today. So next time. Serenity Navy, and this goes really, really, really well with this dark background. We'll talk a little bit more about what you can do with these darker colors. Dry brush, dark denim. Again, it really brings out some of these blue colors in here. Definitely accents those. And then we've got to run into our purples. So we've got Bumbleberries, St. Ives Blue. This is definitely more purple, but it does have a bluish tone, so it pulls in those colors. And of course, Sweet Grunge Lavender, because, I really need to love on all those purples in this collection. Just love that.
You can't get enough purple.
I cannot get enough purple. And you know what's so funny? I love purple so much, but I do not have very many purple clothes.
Very quickly explain that.
I don't know. You'd think that I would have a lot of purple shirts, or I don't know what it is. I need
When's
to
your
change
birthday?
that.
We got to get.
Yeah, I know, right? We need to match more fabric here. This seedling huckleberry, I really like this because it pulls out those plum colors in here really, really well. It's got a different tone to it. So a lot of these fabrics, you can go in a couple different directions. If you want to pull some of the blues out, you could go more in your blues. If you want to pull the purples, you can go back this way. So there's a lot of things you can do with this. And then this one is Seedling Plum, which I think, Shayde, we picked out the perfect name for this fabric because someone was telling us to do that. And then I needed to kind of pull some of these lighter, kind of pinky, rosy colors. And this is Deco Stitch Raisin. And then the lighter colors that are in here, we have Deco Stitch Lilac Dusk. So it just kind of goes with kind of that lilac mauve-y color. And then, of course, we have to have some neutrals in here. So I did the Bumbleberries white because it's not a white. It's, you know, a little bit of an off-white, but it's not cream. And then I also did Seedling Longan. Terrible. Oh, Carolyn, I know, right? Lots of purple clothes. I need to get more purple clothes. I have lots of purple fabric, though. So these are the fabrics that I picked to go with this collection. And let's talk a little bit about, oh, you know what, Shayde? Can you throw up that thumbnail so they could kind of see it together? Meadows at Dusk by P&B Textiles. Perfect, perfect. So now let's move on to talk about how these fabrics would work with the projects that I'm going to show you. So let's go to the project behind me, and that's Octavia. What did I do with? And that one is in our Stripology Mixology 2 book. And I picked this one because you can use some of these lighter colors in this collection. So if you go to the overhead really quickly, I just want to show you that you could use this light color or this light color or any of these in the areas. If you show the, sorry, I don't mean to make you go back and forth, but behind me. You could use that in these light areas and then use a mixture of the different colors in here. And then I would use this really large scale print as a border on here, and then possibly one of the darker colors in there. So there's a lot of options in this collection. You could make an entire quilt, and that would be Octavia out of that. So that one is out of the Stripology Mixology 2. Go to the overhead for me. And I just wanted to show you what it looks like in some different fabrics. Quilting is always really good about giving different options for you. And again, like I said, you could use this really large floral as your border in that. These are all 1 yards, 1 yard fabrics. You could also go blue. So when I was talking about how to go in a different direction, when I was showing you the basics, you could go more blue in your quilt, or you could go to the purple plum side of that. So our next project is Nova, and show you that. So Nova is a single pattern, and I thought this one would work really well with this fabric. You could use all of your light tones, so anything with your light backgrounds, and then add in some of the basics I showed or your own in here, and then you could use the darker colors in these darker portions of Nova. And then again, this one has a border, so you could go with the light color in the border and then the big floral in your large border there. So depending on what colors way you want to go. If you want to mix it all together, you can do that, and that's where that large floral would come in really, really handy. So that's Nova, and Nova is a single pattern. Yes, Diane, soft tan taupe would be a really great accent with that. Great suggestion, and that's what I love about this community is you guys always have such great ideas. Octavia, it was great. I used almost all solids in a white background. That's a really good idea too. I love using solids. That's kind of how I sew is mostly in basic, so it's definitely how I go. So the next project is Hope. And this one, I actually got a chance for you guys to color up some samples for you so you can actually see what it looks like in the project. So Shayde, if you want to show them the first one. So in this one, in the Hope pattern, where you see kind of like a solid-ish color, I used, if you could go to the overhead really quick, I used this print. And then I just took the rest of these prints and scattered them inside that. So you can go back to the, yeah. I'm making him work today, you guys. Not that he doesn't work, but you gotta work harder. So anywhere where you see like that solid line in Hope is going to be that one solid color. And if you go to the next project, I actually took the dark blue in the collection. I used that in where the solid lines are to kind of really make it pop out, where the other one was definitely more blending. It, you know, maybe loses a little bit of that texture. But this one you can really see how that stands out in there. So that's Hope. If you go to the overhead, and in here you can see right here where all the yellow is, I used this dark blue. You could also use the dry brush or any of these darker colors so that it makes the fabric pop out. That's up to you. So this is a single pattern Hope. Hope was a quilt along during the COVID, during when we were stuck at home. This is one of them, and I just have an appreciation for this pattern just because I'll never forget it, basically.
It looks great.
Isn't awesome? And Inga is out of our Stripology Mixology 3 book. And this one is awesome. I love that you can use some of these bigger scale prints in here and you don't lose any of that. So, and I'll show you what I mean by that here for a second. And we'll go, so you can really see it here. You could use a lot of those floral prints in the solid sections. You could use a basic in the middle, or you can pick out one of these colors in your collection and use that. Shayde, if you go to your quilt behind you, that's another example. So he's got another example where it really shows that there's some large scale prints in that, and you can really see it, and it doesn't take away from those prints. And it almost looks like she purposely pieced them that way. Like everything matches up, which is really interesting. So that is Inga out of the Stripology Mixology 3 book. And then, of course, like always, I like to give you some small projects. So let's talk about Little Roxy. So in Little Roxy, of course, I picked this because it's purple and I thought it would make an amazing Littles pattern for this. So you could use a lot of these light colors like this one right here, maybe even this light blue in these lighter tones here, and then pick out your bolder, darker colors to do in here. And then, of course, this has a border, so you can really use some of those bigger prints in there. So that's Little Roxy.
Little Roxy.
Little Roxy.
I like that name.
You know, it's the year of quick, fast projects. So I think that these little patterns are amazing for that. And then I've never shown this one. And you know what's so funny is this has been on my list of things to do because it's called window seat. It has this really interesting curve here with the fabric, and I know it looks scary, but it's not. This is a quilt as you go. This fabric would be great in here. Again, because you have larger blocks, you can really showcase those florals in this collection. Use a basic for the outside, but this is a quilt as you go. And it's actually a video class, which I was like, thank God, I'd have to watch the video to know how to do this. But you can purchase this as a PDF pattern and a video class online. And it's a really great project if you're looking for a quilt as you go, which you know a quilt as you go is once it's done, it's done. There's no quilting. You're doing all of that all at the same time. So this is called window seat. Do we have any questions about any of the projects, Shayde?
Let's take a look. No.
No questions. Okay, let's look at the fabric one more time. So this is Meadow at Dusk by P&B Textiles. So it's got these beautiful blues and mauves and plum colors in it. So we've got this kind of all over print. Yes, you do, Diane, need to make a table runner. I've been doing a lot of table runners lately. And so you've got your blues, your purples, your off-whites in there. We've got this beautiful small print leaf, fabric. And it's got the light blue background. We've got this next print right here. It's got the light blue background with the dark blue half circles in there. We've got this really dark navy with some purple in it. You can really see some purple pop out. This would be really great in Hope as one of those accents, which I used. We've got the floral in Awesome. Lori says that this is one of the window seat is one of her favorite projects. I have to do it because now it's been intriguing me. The navy blue background with the purple florals. We have the white background with the florals. So this is more of a tossed floral. And this one is a large. It is tossed, but it's just a large scale print to it. It has this very beautiful watercolor feel to it. Great for borders. Backing, you can use any of these for backing on your project. Here we have that really small print leaf with the white background or cream background. We've got this plum color or mauve color with the florals.
Mr. Shayde's favorite.
Yeah. And then we have this print in the mauve plum color with the light background with the dark half circles. We have this plum mauve color with the circles, but there is a little bit of a lighter color in here, so you get a little more texture to it and some movement. And then we have this last floral. This one is more spaced out, so your prints are going to be a little bit, there's a little more white space in between your prints. You could probably do some fussy cutting if you really wanted to use this in a project that required that. And the projects, I'm just going to talk about those quick. Octavia, which is behind me. Again, you can use any of these whites that are in here in the background color. The large scale florals can go as your border. We've got Nova, which is a project that you go to the overhead, you can definitely use a lot of the lighter colors in this so that you can have these other colors pop out. So the white and the light colors are going to make all the other prints pop out. So that's Nova. And we have Hope. And these worked really well for Hope. You can use some of these darker prints in here. Also, some of the basics that I showed you could use in there, and then the rest of the prints would go in the outside. So that is Hope. And then we have Little Inga, or sorry, not Little Inga. We have Inga. which is behind Shayde. Again, another great project because you don't have to cut the floral prints up so much. You get to kind of keep that and see them in those projects. And then we have little Roxy on here. Let's show that one really quick. So little Roxy, again, we have a good mix of lights and all the patterns. Thank you, Helen. A really great mix of lights and darks, so it'll work really well with this little Roxy. And our Quilt As You Go project is the window seat Quilt As You Go. Again, enough of a size square, large size square in here to really showcase those florals and make those pop out. So that is window seat, and that is a PDF pattern and video class.
We have a question.
We do. All right. They're meant for the accent fabric for the whole pattern. So Diane, I used this. If you want to, oh, you're already there. See, he's getting to know me, so he's just guessing what I'm going to say. I used this dark print for the accent, but you could also, if you want to go navy, you can also use these two for that accent print. If you want to go towards the like mauve plum, you could use this one or even this one, but it would be really fun to kind of mix in maybe the seedlings in the huckleberry, the plum. Just be sure when you're picking your accent that it's either light enough or dark enough so that your other fabric pops out. Any other questions? Wonderful, Paul. Thank you, Mary. Kimberly, actually, that's a really good point. Kimberly would be a great one. There's so many options. I could be on here all day long if I had to talk about all the options we could use this fabric for. So, all right. Well, I asked you at the beginning of the show a question because I'm trying to figure out what you're looking for so I can curate the show around that. So I'll be looking at these answers to the question. So what are you looking for? What do you want to see from me, from the show, as far as fabric? Do you want tutorials? Do you want more projects? I mean, whatever it is, I want to give that to you. So any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. And I will use all of those to give you what you want. So any suggestions? Notions. I know I haven't done notions for a while because we've had some really large collections to show and big shows. So I will get back to doing notions. I want to make it original and new. So if you have notions that you've never seen us show on this show, please put those in your comments so that I can look for 1,000 giveaways. Michael. See, he's always creeping into our show, even when he's not a part of it. Goodness gracious.
We had a lot of suggestions earlier on. I'm trying to find them in the backlog.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, why don't you guys put those answers back in there?
Yeah,
please?
And if anything, I can go back and we'll talk about those next Wednesday. So speaking of, what's coming up? So we have Happy Friday, which is June 20th. There's some really exciting stuff coming up on Happy Friday, so we're excited to see that. Tipsy Tuesday on the 24th at 4 p.m. Again, we have Gudrun and Mr. HP. Always bringing tons of new stuff. You guys, we have so much new stuff coming in the next couple of months. It's going to blow your mind. Blow your mind. And then I will be back here next Wednesday on the 25th with some more fabric for you. And we're going to be talking about all of your suggestions on how I can make this show exactly what you want and give you what you need in your collection. So it was wonderful spending the morning with you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us. And we will see you next week.